All right, I think we're live. I didn't mean to go live just yet, but we are live. Nebraska gets it done versus Purdue, 28-10. A battle of two completely opposite second halves, or two halves, I should say. Of course, the first half, you guys saw that halftime live stream. Nobody was happy. I wasn't happy. Nebraska fans weren't happy. And yet, here we are, 28-10. Points were scored by both teams, but Nebraska gets it done. They looked a lot better. We'll get into a lot of the stuff. There's a lot of negatives. Do not get me wrong. There are a lot of negatives from today's game. There are also a lot of positives, especially in that second half performance. I thought we played pretty well down the stretch. So again, we will get into all of it. Again, some key players, some guys who played well, some guys who did not play well. Listen, I'm going to start off with this. I'm trying to hold this team to a different standard this year. Because I was sipping the Kool-Aid all offseason long. Okay. And I told you guys in the offseason, I think we're going to win 8, maybe 9 games. And I think we're going to compete for a Big Ten title. I think we're going to compete against some of the best teams we play. So for that reason, I'm trying to hold this team to a different standard because I think we have the ability. Actually, I know we have the ability to be really, really good. And to compete against anybody. We have not shown that so far this season. We haven't played a good team this year, by the way. Okay, you can say Illinois is good. They might be, right? They might be. I think they're going to get exposed versus Penn State today. But we really have not played a really, really good team. Okay? I do not think we can compete against Ohio State anymore, unfortunately. Because of just a lot of the issues that we're making in this ballgame. It's good to beat Purdue, but you also have to take this with a grain of salt because, number one, we played really, really bad. Especially in that first half. And number two, Purdue is a very, very horrendous football team. Purdue is not good. So it's great that we scored 28 points in the second half. It's great that we got the victory, and I'm not giving this victory back. Okay, it was ugly. It wasn't pretty. I'm not giving this victory back. Okay, Purdue fans are going to complain. They'll say, oh, if this went our way, we would have won. I'm not giving this victory back to them. Okay, when we look at this game in 10 years, it will have a W next to Nebraska's name. That's a good thing. Okay, but if you want to dive into the ball game, there are some things we need to clean up if we want to be that upper echelon team. Now, if you want to be just a 6-win team, 5-win team, you can be perfectly okay with this game. You can be perfectly okay with it. But if you have higher expectations, like I do, and I know many of you do as well, there are some things to critique. Let's start off with the positives, though, because there are positives. I mean, we put up 28 points in that second half. I thought the defense in general today played really, really well. I thought the defense played very, very well. Look at this for Purdue. Purdue had 50 yards rushing the football on 21 carries. They averaged 1.6 yards a carry, guys. Okay, we shut that down all day long. So the defense was good in that aspect. They were also pretty good in the passing game. Yeah, Hudson Card, he threw that interception to John Bullock. I thought really he had a tough time throwing all day today. Sear Wright balled out, a guy who I really wanted to see him have a good day. He played very, very well. So I think there are a lot of positives specifically on the defensive side of the football. On the offensive side of the football, there's good and there's bad. Number one, I thought we went down the field pretty well all day against Purdue. Like even in the first half, we were going down the field. We weren't having any 3 and outs or any of that. We were having success. But with that being said, we could not get touchdowns in that first half. We'd stall out. Okay, we'd have a penalty here that would kill us. Or we'd have, this little tic-tac, terrible run play that would, lose 2-3 yards. And we constantly just be kicking ourselves over and over and over again. And we have to take a field goal, which was not great by Matt Rhule. And then here we are, where we missed that field goal and we still have 0 points on the scoreboard. So that was what happened in the first half. In the second half, we finally did not stall out when we got in the red zone. We scored points. Very, very good job. I thought this offense in general played okay. Specifically, the passing department played pretty well. Raiola, of course, 17 for 27, 250 yards passing. He was good, right? Jamal Banks, 82 yards. Really, really good. Jamal Banks had a breakout day. Nobody's going to talk about it, though. And then Emmett Johnson, once again, Emmett Johnson was good. Let's talk about the running game, because this is where I'm going to have a little bit of a rant, because this has frustrated me all year long with the running back rotation. Okay. Dante Dowdle is a good player. He really is. He should be in the mix to start. But I never understood why Emmett Johnson was never getting carries. Okay. It's like we just found out today that Emmett Johnson's a really good player. No, Emmett Johnson's always been good. So why hasn't Matt Rhule played him? Why? Why has Matt Rhule not played Emmett Johnson? Okay, because we know he's a good kid. We know he's a great person, in the classroom. He's doing all the right things in practice. It's not like he has stuff going on that's terrible. It's not like he's a bad fit in this culture. Like, no, Emmett Johnson's a standout guy. So why wasn't he playing? This is something that Matt Rhule does time and time again, which pisses me off. He does not play guys who deserve to play. Okay, last year, Chuba Purdy was our best quarterback on the roster. And he didn't play until the second to last game of the year. Okay, Emmett Johnson continuously shined. And we saw this in other games. Okay, Northern Iowa, 12 yards a carry. UTEP, 9 yards a carry. Okay, Emmett Johnson's played very well throughout the year. And then suddenly we act like, oh, well, he was good. I had no idea he was good until we played him versus Purdue. Like, no, he's always been good. So why hasn't he been in the ballgame? Okay, so Emmett Johnson had three catches today for 50 yards. So he was second in the team in passing in receiving yards. And then he also was second on the team, or first of the team of the running backs in rushing yards, had 50 yards in that department and 8 carries. So listen, Emmett Johnson needs to get more run. I have no idea why he's not in the ballgame more. No idea. It does not make sense to me. Okay. And I think that's, we have to blame the coaching staff. I don't know who to blame there necessarily. I mean, Matt Rhule has the final say. Matt Rhule has the final say of the depth chart. So Matt Rhule's somebody who you have to blame, but you can also say Marcus Satterfield. Okay, yeah. Or you can say E.J. Barthel. I just don't know what's going on with that running back room because Emmett Johnson played well today. So that's a positive, but also a negative at the exact same time. Take that as you will. Real quick, I want to get to the super chat. Christian, I appreciate my man for the $5. He says, I love your videos. I appreciate the work you do. Love you, Christian. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support as always. And, it was good to get this victory today. Again, it was not pretty. We made a lot of mistakes. And I know a lot of people are going to question throughout the week how good of a team we really are. I know I'm questioning it, and we're going to get to it throughout this live stream. But it was good to win. We're not giving it back. We're not giving it back. Hey, the win column says we won 4, we lost 1. We'll take that every single day of the week. Hey, here's one last thing, Christian. We're 2 wins away from bowl eligibility. Feels good to say. And we have what? We have 7 games left. So safe to say, I think we're going to make a bowl game. But thank you for the super chat, Christian. We have a lot to talk about today, though. The special teams. Holy cow, do we have an issue. Number 1, and this is to Matt Rhule. Why in the world, in that first half, did you continuously put out John Hull to kick? Okay, you know as well as everybody else that we do not have a competent kicker on the roster. You also know that we don't have a competent long snapper on the roster. So why in the world do you continuously put him out there knowing he's going to miss? I'm also going to ask you one more thing, Matt Rhule. Who do you trust more? The arm of your quarterback, Dylan Raiola, or the kicking? I trust Dylan Raiola. Let's have Dylan Raiola have an opportunity to convert on a 4th down rather than missing a field goal or having it get blocked. It's unfathomable to me. And that's, again, a huge reason why we fell short in that first half. Doesn't make any sense to me at all, guys. So the special team is a big issue. And I told you guys last week, I wasn't on the Ed Foley fire train. Everybody was talking about that versus Illinois. Are we going to fire Ed Foley? I wasn't going to do that. Because I don't think Ed Foley, I don't like firing coaches mid-season, and I agree that I don't think Ed Foley's a great coach, but I'm not that type of guy to want to fire a guy during the middle of the year. However, now we might have to have that conversation. Now, do I think it happens? No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Ed Foley will stay, because I've told you guys in the past, Matt Rhule does not fire guys in the middle of the year. But should he? Maybe. Because this is just, it's not like there's only one issue in this special teams department. There's a million issues. Okay, the kicking's bad, the long snapping's bad, our gunners are bad on the on punts. So it's just a bunch of issues compounding over and over and over and over and over again, and we just can't fix anything. It feels like, guys, we can't fix anything. So I don't get it. I don't get it with the Ed Foley situation, but I'm just happy we got the victory today, guys. I'm happy we got the victory. I told you guys at halftime. I was so frustrated at halftime. And I still told you guys I think we're going to win. And we did it. We won. It wasn't pretty. It was 28-10 against a bad team today. So here's one thing I don't want you guys to do, or anybody to do. And again, keep putting your stuff in the comment section. I'll get to everything you guys have to say. I don't want you guys or any Nebraska fan to sit here on Monday or tomorrow and say, oh, Purdue's actually a really good team. And we actually played a really good team. Like, no, Purdue sucks. Let's not sit here and act like, we struggled against a good team. Purdue's bad. Really, really, really bad. And we struggled against a bad team. So let's clear the record there. Let's also clear the record in saying we struggled against a really, really bad team, and these are the same issues we've had throughout the year. It's not like an issue came out of nowhere against Purdue, right? Where it's like, oh, we're suddenly starting to really, really struggle kicking the football. Like, no, we've had that issue. We've known about that issue, and we haven't improved it. We haven't improved a lot of the tic-tac penalties that really kill us. Okay, Matt Rhule had an unsportsmanlike conduct today, guys. Really, really frustrating. Like, you just can't have these penalties. You can't have them. Because we're going to play Rutgers. I don't know if you guys saw Rutgers last night, but they look really good. They look like a really hard-nosed Big Ten team. Our exact kryptonite. What's going to happen when we play Rutgers next week? If we had the same penalties, we had 11 penalties today. We missed 3 field goals. What's going to happen against an actually good team? And I told you guys that before the Purdue game, or before the Illinois game, that we couldn't make these mistakes, and we did it again, and we lost. So I'm going to tell you what, if we make those same mistakes, we're going to lose against Rutgers. It might not be pretty, right? We might get blown out against them. I don't think we're a very good team. I'm going to be honest with you. Today's game showed me that I don't think we're a really good team. I think we're a decent team. I think we might be a good team. I just don't think we're a really, really good team. Okay, I think we could probably win 6-7 games, but I'm really struggling to see how we even become competitive against Ohio State, against the USCs of the world, against the Iowas of the world, even Wisconsin of the world. Again, I think we're a good team. I don't think we're a really, really good team. From a talent perspective, are we really, really good? Yes. I've told you guys in the past, I think you lose games in college football because of 2 reasons. Either 1, you're not talented enough, or number 2, your coaching is not good enough. Nebraska usually has just as much talent, if not more talent, than the team they play. So if you lose a game or you struggle in a ball game, it's almost always because of the coaching staff. That was probably the truth today. The coaching staff was not awesome. And Matt Rhule falls short in a lot of aspects, especially the game planning aspect. And you should blow Purdue out of the water. You're so much more talented. And the in-game decisions are so frustrating for Matt Rhule when it comes to, again, the field goal situation, the field goal kicking. But, again, the unsportsmanlike conduct killed us. The challenges. Oh, my goodness. Matt Rhule sometimes challenges the stupidest stuff. Today he challenged the play on the 1-yard line where we just gave it to Carter Nelson for some reason. By the way, that was awful. Why would Carter Nelson play running back? To jump over the line. That's stupid. That's so stupid. You're overthinking it, Matt Rhule. But he challenged that. For no reason. For absolutely no reason. Yet we waste a lot of these dumb challenges. Matt Rhule makes a lot of mistakes, and I'm not a Matt Rhule hater, because there's always people who are really sensitive. There are Nebraska fans who are sensitive, and whenever you criticize, or not even, I don't even want to say criticize, but you're against a move that the head coach makes, they'll say you're a hater, you're this, that, and that. I'm not a hater. At the end of every single video, I say go Matt Rhule. Like, I'm on the Matt Rhule train. But we also have to acknowledge when he makes mistakes. And that was a huge mistake. Huge mistake by Matt Rhule. A lot of mistakes that pile up. And again, we can't have these against good teams, because we saw these same in-game mistakes from Matt Rhule last year. Okay, and we all blamed it on, it's a year 1 thing. He still has to figure out the roster. We lost the Maryland game because of in-game decisions. In the Wisconsin game, in the Iowa game, in the Michigan State game. Practically every game we lost because of some stupid decisions in game. And that was fine. That was year 1. But Matt Rhule, we can't do this again. We can't have these same issues because I truly believe Matt Rhule is a good head coach. And I'll tell you one thing, and I've told you guys this in the past. When it comes to being a great developer of talent and developer of young men, I believe Matt Rhule is as good as it gets in college football. Truly believe it. But when I start to question Matt Rhule, it's in terms of, is he a good game planner? Is he good in terms of in-game decision makings? Is he good in terms of X's and O's? And actual execution? I don't know. I don't know whether he's good or bad in that department, but I've seen a lot of bad in the first 2 years. I've seen good at times, but I've seen a lot of bad as well. And I'm really, really frustrated by that. But I know one thing about Matt Rhule is he's good at developing talent, and we've already seen that. Yeah, people are saying in the chat, why was Carr Nelson getting that goal line run? Yeah, it boggled the mind. It boggles the mind why he was in the game for that. It was stupid. Really, really, really bad. Okay. There's no other way to put it. And also, the Hoiberg, again, why do we sit here every single week and struggle or put Hoiberg in the ballgame when there's just no... Why do we need to do it? Why do we need to do it? Okay, Hoiberg was in at quarterback on a 4th down and 1 for probably a read option. You want to know why that's bad? I get it that he's dynamic, but you want to know why putting him in the ballgame is bad in that situation? Because he has a different quarterback cadence. Okay, the offensive line might move early when he's in the ballgame, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, so you put him in the middle of a drive, you change the cadence, and a false start happens just like clockwork. And then you have to miss a field goal after that. So that's why putting Hoiberg in a quarterback's bad during a drive. But then they put him at wide receiver. And then they actually threw the football to him on just a jump ball, basically. Of course he didn't come down with it. Again, I think Hoiberg is a decent backup quarterback. Decent. Maybe. You gotta stop putting him in other positions, Matt Rhule. You gotta stop doing that because he's not better than any of the running backs on our roster. He's not better than any wide receiver on the roster. And when you put him in the ball game, okay, the defense knows the ball is going to go to him because you wouldn't put him in if it weren't to give him the ball. Okay, so it's a dead giveaway at any trick play, at any type of trickeration period when he's in. And like I've saw on social media, like some other people saw on social media, you're basically treating Heinrich Hoiberg like a Make-A-Wish kid. You're treating him, you're giving him pity snaps. Like, oh, I feel bad for you that we benched you. We're gonna put you out at running back. It boggles the mind. We can't do this. We can't do this with Hoiberg. We gotta stop it. Gotta stop it. And again, putting him in on that 4th down and 1 at quarterback was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Just don't put him in. And don't take away snaps from Raiola. Raiola is the best quarterback we've had at Nebraska in a decade plus. Why would you put in Hoiberg and take away a snap from Raiola? Because Hoiberg, honestly, does he give you a better chance of success than Raiola with the football in his hands? I don't believe so. So that's, again, my tangent about Hoiberg, because we see it every week. We see the same stupid crap every single week with this. And it hurts us, and we lose football games, or we struggle in football games because of it. And I sat here against, we played Northern Iowa. Okay. We played Northern Iowa, and we won that football game. So that was good. And we won the football game versus Northern Iowa. But I sat here in a post-game live stream, and I was a little frustrated because I told you guys that I hold this team to a higher standard because I think we're supposed to be pretty good. Okay. So I hold this team to a higher standard. I was frustrated versus Northern Iowa, and people in the comment section said, Wilson, why are you so mad against Northern Iowa? We won. Because I'm holding this team to a higher standard. We could either be a 5-6 win team, or we can be an 8-9 win team. Okay. Once again, we have people who why? Why do you, again, Austin, don't come in my comment section, please, and say disagree. Don't tell me why. Give me why do you disagree with my Hoiberg take? Tell me. Okay, you really can't give me a great explanation other than you like Hoiberg and you think he's dynamic and you think he gives us an opportunity at trick play. That's what you're going to say probably. And it's wrong. It's not true. Okay, Hoiberg's not more dynamic than any of the other athletes we have on our team. That's number one. And number two, he doesn't give us an opportunity at trick play because when he goes in the ball game, it's a signal that it's going to be a trick play. So, Austin, my challenge to you, my man, would be, don't say you disagree. Tell me why. Okay, and we can talk about it further. Action says, Ole Miss lose to Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky, man, that must be Georgia last week. Kentucky's one of those teams that just plays well against good teams, plays bad against bad teams. They're kind of like us. They're kind of like us, guys. Kind of like us. The Huron says, we won the game, yay. And like I told you guys, again, I could sit here and complain, and I am complaining a little bit because, again, I'm trying to hold this team to a higher standard. And I'm trying to win more football games than just beating Purdue. But at the same time, I'm not giving this game back. Like, we struggled. We didn't play great, but we won. And that's what's important. Sometimes that's the only thing that's important, is winning. You know, maybe past Nebraska teams would lose this ball game. Like Scott Frost. Maybe Scott Frost would not come out of the second half as energized, and we would have lost. So that's a plus. That's a positive. That's something that we're optimistic about. But again, there's a lot of freaking things that we just haven't fixed. And it hurts me as a content creator because I make videos every day and I harp on these issues every day over the last month, and we haven't fixed any of them. Like, what are we doing in practice, guys? We can't figure out the false starts. We can't figure out the holding penalties. We can't figure out the offensive incompetencies inside the red zone. We can't figure out the special teams. We can't figure out this, that, and third. We can't figure out the running back rotation. Again, I've been talking about this all offseason practically. And we're here in week 5, and yes, we won today, but we had the same issues. The same issues, man. So that's why I'm frustrated. Okay. But like we said here on, we won. We won. And I'm not giving it back. I'm just happy that we're 4-1 because I told you guys at the start of the year, we were never going to go 7-0 to start the season. That was the whole storyline. Can Nebraska start off 7-0? I told you guys it was never going to happen because that's not Nebraska football. We lose games we shouldn't lose. We play bad against bad teams. That's not Nebraska football, and I'm going to keep thinking that until I see otherwise. Okay, so we were never going to start off the year 7-0, but at least I told you guys there's a chance we start off 6-1. We are still in the mix to start off 6-1. But I'll tell you this. We play an undefeated Rutgers team next week. And then we play Indiana. I'm not sure if Indiana won today. They did. And then we probably will play an undefeated Indiana team after that. Okay. So we're probably going to play 2 undefeated teams back to back. That scare you a little bit? Because that scares me. That should scare you with what you saw today. That should scare you. JT says, hey, Wilson, do you think we're a physical team or finesse team right now? It's a good question because we're trying to be a physical team, right? That's always been the brand with Matt Rhule. He says that, you know, we're going to be the toughest team, you know, in the country. We're going to play with unmatched physicality, and we don't really do it, especially not on offense a lot of times, especially with our offensive line with no push. So there's some issues. We're definitely not a finesse team. We're definitely not. Okay, Austin says, that's fair. We've had a good number of plays that worked well with Hoiberg. Which ones? Which ones have worked well with Hoiberg, Austin? Not every play will work, but that's true for any play with any player. Which ones have worked well? Because the only one that worked well with Hoiberg that I remember was the trick play versus Illinois where we got 10 yards. In the cons, the risk severely outweighed the reward. We got 10 yards on a trick play. And the Illinois defense knew it was a trick play. Like, they weren't phased. We had a deep shot on that play. It was supposed to be a deep shot, and he was double covered. Like, they knew it was a trick play because they saw Hoiberg come in. So I think people just have this perception that Hoiberg's some weapon or something we need to utilize him. I just don't think Hoiberg should ever play if it's not as our backup quarterback. That's my take. It's always been my take. I don't want to take away snaps from Raiola. I don't want to take away snaps from skill position players who deserve to be on the field. I'm not defending Hoiberg, but he's bigger and faster than our current backs. Not true. Hoiberg is not faster than any back on our team. He's not even faster than Dante Dattle. Okay. Also, you say he's bigger. Okay. What bigger means is that he can truck a guy or he can break a tackle. Toxin, tell me this. I'm going to ask for your honest opinion. Do you think Hoiberg has a better chance at trucking a Big Ten linebacker over Emmett Johnson does? Do you really believe that? I'll let you answer. I do not. Okay, so Hoiberg might be bigger, but does he do anything with that size? No. And he's definitely not faster than any of the running backs in the room. It's not even close. He's not. Okay. Hoiberg's not fast. Really. I mean, we saw that last year. Like, he has the ability to make some plays with his legs, but he's not, like, he doesn't have that top-end speed like any of our running backs do. Okay, Emmett's fast. Dante's not that fast, but he's still faster than Harvard. Okay. All right. I agree. I hate when we play down to our competition. I agree with all you're saying. Glad we're on the same page, Adrian. Again, we played down today to a really, really poor Purdue team. Purdue sucks. Like, I don't know how many games they're going to win this year. I'd say 3. They're bad. Their coach might be fired at the end of the year. Okay, so I told you guys in my video yesterday, I thought we were going to win like 42 to, I think, like 10. We didn't do that. And yeah, we had a good second half, but 0-0 at halftime negates almost all of that. Okay, we got to stop playing bad against teams that we should dominate against. And we did this for Scott Frost, guys. We did this with Mike Riley, where we'll play a team like Purdue or Illinois or, Northwestern, and we'll lose or we'll really, really struggle. And we should have beat them every single day of the week really, really badly. And we didn't. Who's to blame? Who's to blame? It's college football specifically is such a weird sport. It's such a weird sport because people get up in arms when you blame the coaching staff. They get up in arms when you blame the players. Like, you can't blame anybody in college football fandom because everybody's just offensive. It's offensive to blame the coaching staff. It's offensive to blame the 18-year-old players. Like, what can we say after a loss then as fans? Can we be disappointed, or do we have to be positive all the time? College football fans, or just the whole fandom in general, it's very perplexing, especially when you're trying to be negative. Again, I'm an optimistic person out of fault. I'm very optimistic. Okay, I predicted 8 wins. I predicted we were going to win this game, even though it was 0-0 at halftime. And I'm always going to be optimistic. But I'm never going to be that guy who refuses to see the negative when it's right in front of me. Like, I'm gonna tell you when something's not right. I'm gonna tell you when, a player's not playing well or a coach is not coaching well. I don't know. Austin says not feeling good about the Rutgers game. I'm not feeling good about it either. I really am not. Like, I get it's at home, but Rutgers thrives on the road. And it's not going to be a crazy environment. It's going to be a day game. I don't think the crowd's going to be super into it. I think it might be 11 a.m. Don't quote me on that. No. It's an afternoon game. It's an afternoon game. But anyways, like, the crowd's not going to be into it. Rutgers is a very good team. Rutgers is probably better than Illinois is. I'm not feeling good about it right now. Really not. Really not feeling good. The penalties, man. Yeah, again, it's crazy what's going on with the penalties. It's honestly, it's frustrating. I laugh at this point. Like, I cope by laughing. Whenever I see a lot of these stupid penalties, I laugh. Because we've been dealing with these penalties for years, past Matt Rhule. Okay, when Scott Frost here, same thing. It's like, I can never mention Scott Frost's name because then people will be like, are you comparing Matt Rhule to Scott Frost? Like, no, we can all agree that Matt Rhule's a better head coach than Scott Frost. I'm just clearly pointing out that a lot of the same issues that occurred under Scott Frost are still persisting. Now, who's to blame for that? I don't know. Actually, I do know. It is the coaching staff. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys my philosophy, and I want to hear yours. When we lose ball games, I'd rather blame the coaching staff because they're getting paid millions of dollars every year to do their job. I'd rather blame them than the kids. Almost every time, I'd rather blame them. Okay? And I'm not a coaching staff here. I don't hate Matt Rhule. I'm just saying in general. Like, I'd rather blame the coaching staff because they're getting paid the millions of dollars to be here. The kids are not. Sure, they might get paid a little bit because of NIL, right? But I'd rather sit here and, blame the coaching staff because they're the ones who are getting paid, heavily. That's my philosophy. And again, I'm not blaming Matt Rhule. Not going to be that guy. Like, I say go Matt Rhule at the end of every single one of my videos. So I'm not a Matt Rhule hater. But man, do we make these mistakes over and over again. And it's frustrating, guys. Real frustrating. Leave Ed Foley in Indiana. See, here, okay, let's talk about Ed Foley, guys. Let's talk about Ed Foley. So, as you'd expect, everybody is now coming for Ed Foley, saying we should fire him. This, that, third. I told you guys last week I was not on the Ed Foley fire train. I'm not. I wasn't. Now I maybe am because of how bad this King situation is. But another con about Matt Rhule is that he doesn't fire guys. He doesn't fire coaches mid-season. He doesn't fire coaches ever, really. Especially not his friends. And Ed Foley's his friend. What are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that? Ed Foley's been awful. I'm okay with Ed Foley staying on the coaching staff because I think Ed Foley gives us value in recruiting. But let's just put him down in the analyst role. Let's bring him down in the analyst role, keep him on the staff, and get a new special teams coach. We need somebody. Even though it wasn't a dominant game, we should have had our halftime adjustments, and the fact we got our crap together is at least a little promising. I agree with you, Ethan. Like, we played awful in that first half. I'm glad that we scored 20 in the second. Really glad. Like, we dominated that second half. We honestly dominated the entire game. It was just a lot of stupid in-game decisions and execution issues that held us back in that first half. So the fact that we cleaned it up, it gives us a little bit of optimism, things to be positive about. But I'm still worried because a lot of these issues still persist in the second half. And, I don't think they're going to fix themselves going into the Illinois game. 3 p.m. Yep, that game, again, afternoon game. Yep, I remember now. Austin says, Wilson, you should do a video sometime on your background. Just been curious how you get information from inside sometimes. Maybe. If people want it, I'll do it. To be honest with you, that'd be an off-season video for sure. That'd be an off-season video. I've talked about my background before, like what I do when I'm not making YouTube videos. But yeah, about a single video, I don't know. If people want it, I'll do it. People says Foley has to go. Yeah, I agree. It's just, I don't think he will. And I want him to stay on staff, to be honest with you, because he gives us value in recruiting. He's just not a good special teams coach. It's very, very clear as day. Because it'd be one thing if it was only a small issue with kicking. It's a huge overhauling issue with long snapping, with the gunners. And we have to blame Ed Foley for that. And we also should blame Matt Rhule just a little bit for keeping Ed Foley at the special teams coordinator spot because we had the same issues last year. So, yeah. If you get to a bowl game this season, first time in over 5 years, is the season a success, or would you still see it as disappointing? Well, I'm assuming by your question, in this scenario, we'd only have like 7 wins. If we only won like 6 games, I'd be very frustrated. Because I think this team is better than that. I truly believe the talent on this team is the best it's been in a very, very long time. So I would be frustrated, and I would probably think this year is not a success just because of the fact that I hold this team to a different standard. Going to a bowl game is nice, but the talent of this team is better to do just that. It's good enough to perhaps win us, this, that, third, win us 8-9 games. So I would probably see it as disappointing if we only won 6 games and made a bowl. But it's progress. It's progress. Snapping has been bad. Yeah, it's a whole issue. Whole issue. Everything in the special teams department we struggle with. Makes no sense to me, guys. Makes no sense to me. We knew this was an issue last year, too. What were we doing this offseason? Chasing 3. Were we only working on our defense? Were we only working on our defense throughout camp, throughout spring ball, throughout conditioning? We were only working on defense because our offense ain't that great for the talent that we have on offense, and our special teams is horrendous. So what were we doing, guys? I'm so glad Buschini is back playing amazing compared to last year. Yeah, Buschini's been good. He's been back to his 2022 form. Very happy with how he's performing. Again, he's leaving a lot to be desired in some departments, but actually, no, I shouldn't even say that. Buschini's playing good. The Gunners, however, playing real bad. I know you guys saw that first drive where we were driving down the field and we punted the ball at the 34-yard line, which was horrendous, by the way. And Buschini had a great punt, trying to pin him at the 1, and the Gunner went into the end zone. He wasn't even looking at the football. He was going in the end zone. And it rolled in for a touchback. Like, these Gunners are awful, too. So, again, it's a whole issue with the special teams. You just got to blame the coaching staff for that one. Because, again, there's talent. We have talent everywhere. When will the Nebraska fan base understand that? We have talent at every single position. Okay? So, when we don't succeed, I largely look to the coaching staff because it's probably on their fault. And Matt Rhule probably said the exact same thing. So, we have a lot of issues, guys. We have a lot of issues. Ethan says, I'm a Rutgers student and a Nebraska fan. Honestly, Rutgers' offense is so one-dimensional with Monagai. If we hone in and stop the run, well, that's if we can stop the run. We didn't do that very well versus Illinois. We didn't do that well versus Northern Iowa. And Monty Guy's the best running back we're going to play this year. That dude's a stud. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw that run he had last year, but not last year, yesterday. But Monty Guy's a really good running back. We're going to struggle with Rutgers. We're probably going to lose, to be honest with you. Also, by the way, Matt Rhule announced 17 minutes ago that Micah Mazuka is still with the team. He says, and I quote, Micah Mazuka, he's not off the team, but he's not here. And he says he's going to talk about it more on Monday. What does that mean? Again, I don't know what's going on with Micah Mazuka. Like, I made my video yesterday. Like, he's currently clearly not with the team. He's in San Francisco. You don't go to San Francisco out of the blue in the middle of fall on a football team. So I don't know what's going on with Micah Mazuka. But I'll tell you what, I'd love for him to come back because he'd be an instant upgrade than any other offensive lineman on our team. I'd put him at tackle. Wilson, tell us Purdue sucks one more time for the people in the back. Purdue sucks. Purdue's not good. There we go, Steven. How much do you put on Satterfield's play calling and game plan? We have the players we put at 50 on our first 7 opponents. Oh, I put a lot on it. It's bad. I mean, Satterfield's he's holding this offense back, guys. He really is. Especially in that first half. Again, I think the red zone play calling has been really bad throughout the season. Again, putting Carter Nelson in on that 3rd down and 1 on the goal line. Why? At a running back. You put him at a running back. Like, I get the logic behind it. Oh, he's super tall and he's super athletic. He'll just jump over the line. Like, but I get the logic, but it was stupid. You don't put a tight end in at running back. You don't do that. He doesn't know how to play the position. So, just a lot of stupid stuff. And again, I don't know if that was Matt Rhule's call or Satterfield's. I think it was Satterfield's. But his play calling has been really bad. He holds his offense back. Holds it back. And you'll see that I think he just changes up a lot of what we do. Like, we'll be finally having success running the football, and then we'll go away from it. And we'll start just throwing the ball consistently. Or it'll be vice versa, right? Where we'll run it down their throat, but we got to get Raiola going. We just can't do anything right, it feels like. Can't do anything right. And that's, again, Satterfield, again, it's the same issues that he had last year. It's not like this is just coming out of nowhere. Struggling with the same crap. Illinois has a defense. Yep, Illinois is good. Illinois is a very good team, but Rutgers is good too. Both those squads are going to be, again, tough. Thoughts on Will Compton? Love Will Compton. Dude's so fun. His hype videos before the games of Memorial, they're the best, man. Those videos really get me pumped up, man. I'm happy about them doing that. I'm an SC. They were thrilled for us to take Satterfield. Exactly, Steven. Like, I remember when we hired him, and I was like, who the heck is Marcus Satterfield? I, looked up his wiki and everything. I went on Twitter. All the South Carolina fans were celebrating. They hated Satterfield. They hated him. And I was telling Nebraska fans, like, this is a bad sign. Okay, this is a bad sign that our new offensive coordinator was hated at his last spot. It's also a little bit of a bad sign that Matt Rhule is hated at his last spot too, but I don't know. We won today, though, guys. We won today. All right, guys, continue to put stuff here in the comments section. I want to check out the college football scores right now, what's going on around the country. I didn't see all the scores from the 11 a.m. game, so I got to check them right now. But somebody said Kentucky beat Ole Miss. That's nuts. Again, not too shocked. I think Ole Miss is overrated, to be honest with you. They're overrated almost every single year. Do you guys see that Miami game last night? That was nuts, dude. That was absolutely incredible. I honestly think, I forgot Miami. Virginia Tech, they got screwed. BYU beat Baylor. Interesting. Kansas State beat Okie State. Michigan barely beat Minnesota. Ooh, okay. There we go. Indiana beat Maryland. Again, Indiana's going to be a tough team. They're going to be a tough team to play. They're looking better and better every single day. NC State versus Northern Illinois beat them. Navy's undefeated 4-0. Nothing too crazy from those 11 a.m. games, but man, I'm excited about that Alabama game tonight, yo. I'm excited about that. Georgia, it'll be a good one. That'll be just phenomenal. It sucks that's not on CBS anymore, though. That's the real kicker. Like, I used to be really hyped when those games were on CBS. They got Brad Nessler calling that game. Now it's on ABC, ESPN. That sucks. But I think Kirk Herbstreit's calling it. I actually like Kirk. Nebraska fans don't like him, but I like him. Scott's USC tie. Yeah, I saw that. We turned that on after the second half. Minnesota should have got that onside kick. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Wilson, we have a kicker lined up from high school, or are we going transfer portal? We should go transfer portal every single freaking day of the week. It's not even a question. Alabama, they got a guy from Miami of Ohio last year. I think I think Texas, or I want to say Georgia got a guy from the transfer portal. USC got a guy from the transfer portal. Indiana got a guy from the transfer portal. Get a transfer kicker. There's a lot of good ones. You don't have to look far. Okay, we got Brian Bushey, who's a really good punter right now. We got him from Montana. Like, you can get a guy from the FCS ranks. How did Gunner look? I have to rewatch the game. I wasn't really when I watch. I just naturally gravitate toward the skill positions, so I don't really watch the offensive line too much on offense. So that's why I rewatched the game. Thoughts on Notre Dame's Kelly Green Unis? Yeah, that's the game I have on right now. To my right hand side, they're all right. I kind of like them. I wish they went all green. I don't know why they have the white pants with them though. It's kind of odd. But yeah, some good college football today, guys. I'm just happy we won. Let's celebrate that we won today. We won. Let's celebrate. Nebraska's 4-1, guys. Okay, we can sit here and be negative, and I think that's okay. And I think that's okay to criticize some of the things that we saw today, but we won the football game, and that's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that matters. Is that we won, that we're 4-1, that we're playing Rutgers next week, a homecoming ball game going into the bye. We have a late bye. We have 2 byes this year. So it's good that we actually won. That's good. All right. Minnesota got ref showed. Again, I was not watching that game at all, but I'm not surprised. Not shocked by that. Buddha Wright, I didn't see Buddha Wright in too much. I have to see how many snaps he actually got. But Buddha Wright, we'll see what the tape says. But I thought that John Bullock played good. I thought at times Vincent Shavers played well, so we'll see. Stephon Thompson did not play. Mackay played all right as well. He played as all right. Sorry, guys. I posted a video. All right, there we go. All right. If you got after this live stream, make sure to check out my post-game video. I recorded that literally like right after the game, and I'm checking the comments, just seeing what people are saying on that. Navy looks really good, dude. I'm hyped. I'm hyped that Navy and Army are both 4-0. Like, that's cool to me. I'm the type of guy to always root for the service academies. So the fact that both of them are undefeated right now, that is awesome. I'm watching. I'm making a vocal point or a point every single time they play to watch those games. Like, I was watching Army on Thursday night. So that's cool to me that they're continuously winning ball games, and I like to see them, go into that matchup in December, maybe 11-1, 10-2, and just have a lot of stakes behind it. If you're mentioning an O lineman, it's never good. I mean, in general, our offensive line was not great, especially in the first half. They're just really lackluster in the running department. Really, really lackluster. Like, I feel good about them in the pass pro at this point, but them in the running game, man, it's frustrating. Dowdle, Johnson, but can we put Carter Nelson? Yeah, exactly. We were talking about it. Like, why do we put Carter Nelson in? I get the schematics behind it, or not the schematics. I get the reasoning, like, oh, he's super tall, super athletic. Why though? He doesn't know what to do with the football in his hands. Like, he's a tight end. Doesn't make sense to me. I saw Buddha Wright was in for a couple plays. Yeah, again, I think he was in for probably more than 10. I wasn't really looking out for it. I gotta look at the stats. Let's actually look at the stats here, guys. Let's see how many tackles Buddha Wright has. You know who played well? Sear Wright. Let's give Sear Wright some love. Let's give some Sear Wright love in the chat. Sear Wright, in my opinion, was the defensive MVP today. He led the team in tackles. He also had an INT that was, I think, wrongfully taken away, but I mean, he made a great play there. He was great in man coverage. He's a little banged up, but he played very, very well. Buddha Wright had 3 tackles, so he was in. MJ Sherman had 1.5 sacks. Okay, MJ. Okay, MJ, I see you. Not bad. Shout out to Alex Bullock on elite blocking. You know what's funny? Whenever Alex Bullock comes in the game, you know it's going to be a run play every single time because they just put him in the block. Who was number 90? Never heard of him. James Williams. He was good. He had a good game last year. I can't remember when it was, but yeah, James Williams. He's a good player. He's a good pass rusher. Hold open tryout for soccer players. See, you know what hurts us? We don't have a men's soccer program. We should just have a men's soccer program just to find backup kickers. Like, let's fund one. Let's go and go. Why don't we have one? UNLV backup quarterback looks good. That's what people are saying. When UNLV's quarterback, of course, transferring out because of the NIL thing, UNLV fans were saying, hey, this might be a good thing because our backup's a dog. You might be right. I'll have to watch that game. Maybe it was Sayer. Yeah, Sayer was awesome. He was played as good as any game that Tommy Hill's played in so far. Sayer is going to have a really good Pro Football Focus grade tomorrow morning. So I'm saying. I thought the secondary in general played good. Not just him, but Buford had a good day. I thought Singleton was all right. Hartzog honestly played pretty well. So secondary played well. I thought the defense in general was pretty good. It wasn't their fault. But it's another thing. Purdue's kicking situation, they also missed a field goal too. So they should have put up more points on us. MJ and Wallen stepped up a bit. Yeah, the D-line played pretty all right in general. I thought Jamari would have had a bigger impact. I thought Ty would have had a bigger impact. But some of our depth pieces really, really got in the ballgame and played really, really well. By the way, Keona Davis, this was his 5th ballgame he's played in, so Keona Davis is officially not going to redshirt for Nebraska. Interesting to note there. But I don't know how much I love that. I don't know how much I love that at all. All right, let's get back here. Did Tommy ever get in the game? I never noticed Tommy. I don't think he played. I think that's good because Tommy's, again, he has a very bad injury right now with his foot. Right? Like he can play through it. It's just painful, man. Painful. So I don't blame him. We need Buford and Singleton to step up. I honestly thought they played all right today. Did they play great against Illinois? No. Did they play great against Colorado? No. But I thought they played pretty all right today. It was not their worst game of the season. Ja'Cory looked real good out there. Oh yeah, Ja'Cory was a stud. He was arguably my offensive MVP besides Emmett. Told you guys about this Ja'Cory guy in February. This is why you guys watch the channel. In February I was talking about this dude, Ja'Cory Barney. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, he's a stud. He's incredible, man. That's why you guys watch the camp notes. When I do my camp recap videos, every single week I was telling y'all how good Ja'Cory Barney is, how he's going to be a factor. Look what happened. Yeah, he is. Elijah, what up, my man? He says, yo, Wilson, crazy game. Finally glad we got a break from the home games. You know what? I'm happy too. I like going to those home games. But sometimes I also want to, catch the game at the crib and then watch the other games going on throughout the day. So, yeah, I'm happy we finally had an away game, so. And I'm busy for the rest of the day, too, so, it is what it is. I'm fine with a girl soccer player as the kicker. Maybe. We'll pull Vanderbilt. When Hill is back, Wright should be on the opposite side of him. Completely agree. He's been outplayed. He outplayed Marcus Buford, already. Sierra Wright's really only played 2 games this week and last week. And he's already played better than Marcus Buford in any game he's played so far this year. So I agree. Is Malachi Coleman not playing this year? Yeah, he won't. I don't think we'll see Malachi in a single game. We might. Maybe at the back half of the year, but I don't think he'll play. Where the heck has Gifford been? I think it's partly that the secondary is better than it was last year, but I don't think I was never high on Gifford. Was never high on him. He's a good tackler. He wasn't last week. He's a good tackler, but he's just not good in coverage. I don't know why. He's not athletically gifted, so he can't really guard, one-on-one with a good wide receiver. So that's an issue with him. But I don't know. It's been a really frustrating year. He said he was coming back on a mission as a 6-year senior. Where have you been? Where's your mission going, man? Because you haven't played well. I agree with you, man. I agree, Jackson. They keep putting in 5'9" Hartzog on a tall right end. Yeah, Hartzog. I thought Hartzog played good today, though. Honestly, Hartzog wasn't terrible today compared to what he's been so far this year. Was arguably his best performance this year. Now, how good was it actually? Maybe not that great, but it's better than what we've seen so far. I heard a few years ago they had to fumigate one of the dorm buildings due to a crab outbreak. No way I would live in a dorm. Mike, this dorm is probably nicer than your house, man. It's a pretty nice dorm. Not this dorm, man. Not in this dorm. I'll tell you what. At my house, my normal house, it takes 30 seconds when you turn on the shower to get it cold or to get it warm. And this dorm, it gets the water gets warm in a split second. Like this dorm was built 2 years ago. One day I'll show you guys a tour. Maybe not. But I think this dorm's probably nicer than your house, man. It's a really nice dorm. Our team doesn't have a killer instinct. I agree. So much agree. Maybe not for this game. It's a good talking point, but for the rest of our games and for last game against Illinois, we don't play well in crunch time when it matters the most. I don't get it. Yeah, I agree. We need to have more juice, dude. Dowdle falls forward. Even before getting hit, Emmett is a real running back. They're both good. I don't think Dante played that bad, but I agree with you that Emmett should be running back one. I've said this throughout the offseason. Emmett's the guy. Why is he not playing? Why he's not playing? I just want Buford back at safety. That's his best position. Yeah, I agree. And then Hartsock will sit on the bench after that. Yeah, I agree. Mike says, I live on 25 acres in a huge house. I doubt it. Mike, I don't know if you're trolling every now and then, so I don't know if you're trolling. I don't know. But I'll just tell you what, this dorm is on 26 acres, and it's a ginormous house. Ginormous dorm. I'm kidding. All right. Just made up with, got through all the chats. Keep putting stuff in the comment section. I'll try to go here for a little bit longer. We got the victory today. Tell me what player you were really impressed with in today's performance. I thought, let's talk about Raiola. Well, we haven't talked about Raiola at all. I don't know why we haven't talked about Raiola, but Raiola, I thought was really off and on today. Really off and on. There were times where he had a good throw here and there like that. I thought that throw to Jamal Banks in the end zone was nice. But there's just some inconsistency issues with Raiola every now and then. Underthrowing footballs, overthrowing footballs, not staying an open man. Like, I wasn't really concerned about in the first 2 weeks. I'm not really concerned about it now either, but I just don't like to see it compound. Mike says, not trolling where I live. I've been in those dorms. Again, I don't think you understand how nice this... Look up Graves Hall on the internet at Crane University. You will be impressed. That's what I'm going to tell you. Like, I'll tell you this. I got faster Wi-Fi here than I do at my house. Well, I'm on Ethernet, but... Anyways. Total freshman law. Total penalties law. Yeah, the penalties, joke. Again, the refs were bad today, but they weren't inconsistent and they weren't one-sided. They were consistent and they did it for both us and Purdue. So we can't complain about the refs. I'm glad nobody's doing it. At least not in my live chat. But yeah, the refs, they weren't good. They weren't good. They didn't favorably call the game for us, but they weren't one-sided. But yeah, it was an execution issue on our part as well. Emmett should be one. I agree with you, man. I agree. John Bullock again. Yeah, John Bullock was awesome today. Really, really, really good. Again, I'm giving my defensive MVP to Sear because of how well he played in the secondary. But if I had to give it to a runner-up, it would be John. Ryle's a freshman. I expect that. I agree. But the theme of this live stream is holding our guys to a different standard. Yes, Ryle is a freshman, but we're kind of holding him to a different standard. We want him to act more than a freshman. He's already better than most freshmen, every single freshman that's playing right now. So we're trying to hold him to a different standard above that. So we don't want him to make these freshman mistakes, these freshman inconsistencies. Thoughts on Rutgers next week? I think we're going to have a lot of trouble. I agree. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, I think we lose. I don't know if I'll think that, when I make my prediction video on Friday. But as of right now, after watching this game, I think we lose against Purdue. I hope we don't. I pray to God we don't. But I think we do because I think Rutgers is a really good team. Bullock needs to get on conference. Oh, I thought you meant Alex Bullock. No, John Bullock, you're right. I agree. But I thought you were referring to Alex Bullock in a second. I was like, what, Alex Bullock? Yeah, I agree. Why do we not blitz more? We get so predictable on defense. Because I trust our defensive line. I think our defensive line's good. Is it that good to get pressure with only 3 guys? I don't think so. All right, guys. Keep putting your stuff in the comment section. I'll try to go for like 10 more minutes. My voice is going. It's almost gone, guys. So just put your everything you want to talk about. We'll try to go for 5-10 more minutes. My voice is gone. I got stuff to do. So Not happy about that. Jackson says we could easily beat Wisconsin this year, or you thought we could, but they're playing tough against USC. Again, I'll have to turn that game on after this. The refs are bad on both sides. Yeah, again, the refs are always bad. But what can we control? That's the theme. What can we control? We haven't controlled too much because we haven't executed at a high level. We've had a lot of stupid false starts, a lot of stupid penalties. Bushini more solo tackles than Ty. I saw that. That's funny. I did see that. They're memeing that on Twitter. All right, guys, your final stuff. Alex did have a good block on the touchdown. Yep, he played all right. Final stuff in the comment section. Get to it. Again, I'm trying to get out of here because again, the voice is killing me. Get some more football on. But appreciate you guys as always. Make sure to hit that like button on the stream. Make sure to subscribe. If you're not subscribed somehow, make sure to do that. Again, I'll get to your final comments. So put any of your last thoughts down. Let's get to it. Nathan says, I know this doesn't have to do with the game, but Scott Frost's first year, if Martinez didn't get hurt and the first game wasn't canceled, do you think Scott Frost would have ended up different? No, because the same stuff, the reason why we failed over Scott Frost, it was a way bigger issue. It wasn't just one thing went wrong. It was a million things went wrong with Scott Frost. It wasn't just one game that went wrong. So even if we played that game and even if we won or Martinez didn't get hurt, we would still end up the same way because Scott Frost at the end of the day is not a good coach. He had a lot of crap off the field too. For a chasing 3, we may need to chase a new special teams coach. I agree with you, Charles. That's funny. It was Lieben Treat, our fullback. Bama or Georgia? I got Georgia. Give me Georgia on that one. It'll be a good game. I really do believe it'll be a good game. Give me Georgia though, because I think they're better on defense. I don't know. It's tough though. At Bama, and Bama's coming off a good week, or they're coming off a big win against Wisconsin. I don't know. And Georgia almost lost to Kentucky. I'm gonna still roll Georgia, man. I'm gonna roll with them because I truly believe they're the better team. Rutgers game will feel very similar to Illinois. I agree with you. Again, Rutgers very very similar team, very good team. I think we lose. Raiola is very inconsistent on deep balls. I agree. He is thrown off the back foot. He's got to clean it up. Got to clean that up. A lot of overthrows, a lot of underthrows. He underthrew a lot of footballs today. We're not going to talk about it because we won, but some issues there. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys hopping on the live stream. Again, my voice is fading, so I want to get out of here. Appreciate you guys as always. Enjoy the victory today. Enjoy the college football. Again, I got Georgia. AJ says, when will the next game day be at Memorial? I don't know, man. The next year's home schedule is not very good, so I don't know if maybe 2026. Maybe 2026. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I'm gonna hop off. Again, voice is gone. I got stuff to do. So again, I got Georgia. Nebraska won today. It's good whenever you get a victory. I appreciate you guys as always. Make sure to hit that like button on the stream, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Go Big Red, go Matt Rhule.